Jim.
Yes.
You're on the Michael Berry Show, Jim.
Yes. I was listening to your comment about food stamps. I went over there and fought in the Gulf War, and before I left for the Gulf War, I lost my job, and President Obama wasn't in office. President Bush was. I not only lost my job, lost my home, damn near lost my life over there, and come to find out, wasn't fighting for freedom. Hell, we ain't got no freedom over here. Them people was living better than we was before we went over there. And if I was to tell you why we went over there, they'd probably try to find me and kill me. But I will say this here, ain't nothing wrong with food stamps. I got food stamps. I got a food stamp card in my pocket. Hell, I've been having a food stamp since I come back. Can't find a job. My field is machinist, NC machinist. I can't find a job. So I don't know why you sitting up there worried about some food stamps. I want to ask this question. Are you racist?
I don't know, Jim. I'm not sure that we should ask people if they're racist. I think we should come to our own conclusions about it.
Well, because since I've been back, and, I've been listening to your station, and you look like you could be on the other side if I was to go over there at the Gulf War.
You saying I look like an Iraqi?
No, you act like one.
Oh, how do they act?
Like if somebody strap you up with some bombs, you'll go inside a convention center and blow yourself up.
Well, don't get me talking about bombs. I already got in trouble for that once before.
Yeah,
they damn near took me off it damn near cost me my life, Jim.
And some of our servicemen's going to be coming back to food stamps. So
Right. Well, let's talk about it, Jim. You got a lot on your mind, brother. I appreciate you taking the time to call. I certainly appreciate your service. Let's talk about how you ended up in this situation. So how old a fella are you?
Well, I'm 42.
42. You sound 82. Okay. So you served in the Gulf War in what year?
Well, the last one, 08. When we was getting ready to go over there, I already had lost my job and my home.
Okay, so you were in Iraq in 2008?
I was over there when that football player got killed. If I was him, I'd have stayed playing football. That don't make you no hero just because you're going over there because two buildings came down. Yeah, the two buildings came down had nothing to do with the war.
Okay, let's focus on you, though, Jim, because it sounds to me like if there's one guy we want to make sure gets food stamps, it'd be you. Make sure you're well fed. So
yeah, I go over there and serve this country.
No, I got that, Jim. Just focus with me for a moment. Focus with me.
Before you say anything else, I went over there getting shot at.
Right.
And I can go sit in that
right.
for 10 hours because I still got a bullet in my back.
No, I got you. Now, I'm just curious, Jim, because I'm interested in your story. So take me back to high school. Did you go into the military straight out of high school?
I want to ask you this question since you want to try to use that approach on me.
Sir, I'm not trying to use any approach. To tell you the truth, I think you're lying.
Have you ever defended this country?
Every day.
Not with your mouth, because you sound like you. Have you ever been to college?
Have I ever been to college? Well, I visited once. I visited one time.
Well, that's okay. Because, see, I noticed something about your pattern that you got a cuckoo.
Cuckoo?
Yeah.
Like how?
Well, your dialogue, the way you put your program, well, the people in the background, they only do what you allow them to do, and you.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
Sometimes you get off track. I noticed that you're not a disciplined person.
Right? No, not at all.
When you were small, have you ever been abused?
Well, not abused per se. There was times that, we only had 3 TV stations and things like that, and I wasn't allowed to go out past dark, and I was required to come home at dinner time, and not abuse per se. Jim, you for a man with so many broad experiences, you have an incredible knowledge of an incredible ability to engage in psychiatric evaluation. I must say I'm quite impressed.
Well, that's what I reversed it back on you. Good.
Right. No, of course. You'd had me all twisted up. I didn't know what to do. You should use some of that insight in your own personal case. But, Jim, let me ask you a question. you're a man that's on food stamps, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you say you can't get a job, and that's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm trying to figure out. This is a great example where we can understand the American economy, because I'm sure you're out there looking for a job. Let's talk about your case. So you were in Iraq in 2008, is that right?
Well, I will say this.
I mean, I'm proud of your service, and you must be too. You were in Iraq in 2008, is that right?
Let me explain to you. In my fifth lumbar, I have a shrapnel.
Right.
And I'm not too far from being paralyzed.
Right. No, I clearly you were a victim of many things. In 2008, you were in Iraq. Is that what I understood you to say?
No, that's not what you heard me say. See, that's why I was telling you dialogue. Let me explain it to you.
Okay.
Explain it to you. The year them two buildings came down, what year was that?
2001.
Okay. 2002 to 2008, I've been fighting for this country.
Okay, and you were fighting in Iraq?
The Gulf War, before then, I re-enlisted.
I understand that, sir. Were you fighting in Iraq?
For 10 years. I was already done had 10 years. When them two buildings came down.
Is it just me, or do you unwilling to answer a question? Were you fighting in Iraq, as you've said repeatedly?
I'm trying to engage with you.
Oh.
So, therefore, 10 years, I had 10 years under my belt. When I saw them two twin towers come down, I went re-enlisted right before that St. Louis Cardinal football player, Arizona Cardinal football player.
Pat Tillman, yes, Pat Tillman.
I saw Tillman before he went over.
Right.
But I will say this here.
Right, you will say a lot of things, Jim. Are you just not going to answer my question? Were you in Iraq for these years?
Well, I don't like to engage in stuff when...
Right, because it might be pointed out to you that you're lying, that you're a lazy layabout that lives off of the bounty of hardworking people and claims you're a veteran when you're probably not, and all you're really looking for is a free meal, and you've figured out every different possible way to make yourself out to be a victim, and you throw out a little Gulf War and a professional football player in your back and your lumbar and your hoo and your ha. The truth of the matter is you're a lazy old man that lives off of other people's hard work, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And I'll bet you chances are you're living off some woman that's working hard to pay all your bills while you sit around complaining about stuff and listening to my show.
Crazy. Michael Berry, master of the honey badger.